And if you can't do it, very much. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Stay blessed. If you can't do this alone and all these healing tools, we want you to help you to learn that you can take charge of your life, take your power back, and be in charge. But we're also soul coaches. Our main job is to sit here and help people. So if you need to make an appointment, then go on to the website and look it up and make an appointment, and we'll be glad to help you get through a lot of your issues.
And walk you through the process.
Because what we can tell when your thoughts are shifting and where else you need to hold, because one position may not do it all, but it can pull out like the thorns. And there's many layers because we're chronologically aged. So if you need help, that's what we're here for, is watching how you weave in and out, switching positions of where you need to hold, and what it is that you need to do. So what do we got?
Somebody who had called in, worked on some issues, and wanted to know if it's resolved.
Okay.
I asked if the language had changed as far as going through the healing process, and they say that it's still like in foreign symbols and code.
Okay.
So they want to know, I guess, if...
All right, so I'm going to do my best to tap into the thing that was discussed with you at the time. Because remember, it's just like when you're doing a reading, it changes. I have to figure out the exact link to where we were working on. And one of the things is that when she asked you, did it sound different? And when you're healing, you already got the self-talk down pat. You can sit there and tell your best friend how it is, and you could write a book. And then if the language changes where it's not so harsh, when this person I'm tapping into, have they brought it down? Well, it looks like it came down to a 5, which means yours is kind of big, which means it may take longer. Maybe you switched and you need another healing code so that we can take and finish it out. If that's the case, R3D would be your code, because go back into the same situation. And the way we scale it is not just by 0 and 10, but by, in the color, but by looking at where the rhythm is in your body, because you have 12 notes that are in your body, and those 12 musical notes are what creates the code and the music to line up other people on this earth. So right now, you're down to just a 5. So R3D, go back into staring it down again, and this time, notice how these symbols and things like this kind of stop you from dreaming, and it just keeps repeating itself. And just stare it down, and then if you have to use your imagination, I would imagine bringing in your 3-year-old self that says, huh, I would resolve it like this. And then all of a sudden you would see a different way of resolving. So when you're staring at the symbols, the 3-year-old may say, let me smash it, let me rearrange it, let me show you something else. You never know exactly how creative you need to be, and only you'll know that process. Okay?
And then as far as the code, isn't that awesome? That must have been a clue or something, but it was the private chat was in code. Not what they were seeing when their healing was in code, but the private chat and Blogtalk was in code. So I hope that that reading made sense. However, I'm hoping that this person also gets what we were saying.
That's funny. That's also a sign, because again, when it's in code...
Doreen was helping.
Oh, awesome.
Translate that's what was happening.
Good. That's good.
So
now we're going to look a little further, and why was it when we were translating, taking our information and applying it, and it showed up as code, and that sometimes it doesn't make sense with frequencies. It's like this. Imagine that you are an electromagnetic being. Surprise, you are. And you have energy that runs through you, electrolytes, and it's a certain frequency, and have you ever had static electricity zap through you and you can zap your friends? Okay? That means there's a certain frequency. Now, the higher the frequency you are, the more energy will flow through you, and sometimes if you can't handle it, you could burn yourself out. For instance, the electrical outlet cord has a different frequency. So if you were to put your finger in it, you could be zapped and even die. But at the same time, as your frequency starts matching up with your guides, your higher self, And you have to build yourself there. You have to grow into it with your expanding of your awareness. And when you do, then you won't get burnt out. The language won't be interfering. You'll actually start to fine-tune even what you're saying to yourself. And so literally you'll end up growing. And that's one of the things I said was that, it's in code, because sometimes we forget that really everything's in code. Listen to Greg Braden, he'll tell you even what he saw and observed is that we look at all the time codes. You know, like when somebody says, that always happens to me. Do you know that's actually a code? You've actually witnessed that you have a code, a pattern that repeats itself, and you have intellectually caught it, but did you spiritually understand that it is a code? And sometimes we get so humanism that we go, dang it, it's happening again! But we don't understand why it's happening, and that's where we come into play, is to see those intricate web of entanglement cords that happen and the stories that with it. I remember when I started out doing Reiki and hands-on healing and quantum touch and all these different healing things, and I put my hands on the people, and all of a sudden there would be just this rapid self-talk that was going on in my head, and it's like, what the heck? You know? And then I realized, oh, it's not me. And so then I realized as I took my hand off, it quieted down. Put my hand on that spot, it would be talking again. Oh, what? I had to learn to listen that the soul was speaking, and sometimes it sounded like gibberish, but then that's when I started using hope therapy, or I brought it into existence. Other people have it too, but it's a mixture of Chinese therapy, touch for health. It is all the meridians that have emotional meanings to it. So I thought, okay, I got to make sense of this when I put my hands on people, that I hear their stories. And sometimes I can hear and see how they've gone in a car accident, and sometimes the hands-on healing that you'll trigger the fascia, that it'll actually unwind itself.
It was interesting, after I got, did the attunement for Reiki.
Yes.
And started turning on these gifts and abilities, and then at the same
You like
time,
smack me
the way
that.
the way that God and I said that I'm on the fast track for learning, and boy was I, because then I was doing my hospital chaplain residency at the same time that these abilities were turning on.
So she was seeing lively spirits, dead spirits, all over the place.
The hospital is
it's more busier than the cemetery. How's that?
Exactly. So then I'd be walking by in there was a big, huge hospital complex, and then the basement connected everything. And so then you'd be walking, get from your car to, to go here, to go there, to go to whatever building. And, the underground, the basement, there's all this activity with the hospital transport and all this stuff. But it was like it was radio. It was like the signal had been turned on, and it was like, I was like this receiver, and I would just hear these songs as I would be walking by people's energy. It was absolutely funny. It's absolutely. I just remember walking by, Proud Mary, and I'm like, did they even know that this is even in their energy field? It was absolutely.
And songs usually represent a lot of meaning. Okay, we got one more person.
Okay, we're gonna finish
before we say hey, bring them on. We're gonna say thank you for everybody that's came today in the chat room, that's listening, that's going to be listening later. We appreciate it. We hope you join us tonight on sepianc.com to just maybe be there to cheer us on, however you want to do it. You don't have to. Send us love and light how you want to do it. Tell other people. Maybe they want a free reading. So thank you so much for all of your love and support, and I hope we were there to help you. So let's bring this person on and we'll take them out.
Okay, area code 501.
You're on the air with Brenda and Jen.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, Brenda, this is Janae, and thank you for trying to clear that up. I couldn't hardly hear you on the air. I was the one that was in chat with the code. And real quick, you gave me the code, R3D, that's a new code.
Uh-huh.
Can you tell me again how I didn't understand part of what you said. I know we're limited on time.
Now I got to remember channeled-wise, what did I say?
Okay. No, I was...
Hold on. Jen, what do you remember? Quick.
Well,
R3D.
It was a mothership. It was out of 5. Got it down to a 5.
Yeah, double checking where you're at.
Yeah.
And whatever your issue that you were working on and focusing on was the topic, and then you got it down to a 5, but now we need to switch you over to R3D, continue on the topic, but also to add to you, because now that we've got you more live, it's funny because they're going between loftiness and mortification. So there's an energy field that's going on where you had to stand up to be really tall, and some people consider that as not healthy, and then when they tell you this, it strips you of your strength. This is the things that happen. So whatever you need to heal, just go into R3D and notice how depleting and how you have to suppress yourself, because you're fighting to become who you are, from what I can feel. Yeah. And so when you stand tall, then other people are kind of the naysayers. Then all of a sudden you got to suppress yourself, or you'd get depleted by what they say, and that is the main thing they would like you to focus on while you hold R3D. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, dear, for calling in.
I just wanted to say that I did a healing with you, an hour session last week, and I just want you to know I think it's wonderful, and anybody who's listening, they should try it.
Oh,
thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I was curious how you're doing. Remember, keep witnessing your healing and keep growing, okay?
Thank you, girl. Bye.
All right, thank you. Stay blessed.
Take care.
And it's so important. She called and she paid for an hour, and we had an awesome session. And when you know it like you do, and then at the end you're like, holy crap, there's an incredible difference. We want you to continue your healing by noticing that it happened. Don't forget that it didn't. Write it down. Remind yourself.
90 seconds.
And it's so important to just allow yourself to just be thankful. Tell people if you need to. And so I'm looking for testimonies to put on my wall so I can really share it with people. I just never really asked so much. I'll say thank you to everybody, and we'll see you tonight. All right. Thanks.